I'm Mariana, and I'm really excited to share with you my project for the Chainlink Constellation Hackathon. In the spirit of the constellation theme, I created a project that is called Celestial.Mint, which can be found at celestial.mint.xyz. And the basic idea of the project is to enable users to capture a snapshot in time. To do this, I created a Python script that uses a Swiss ephemeris library, which allows the tracking of celestial objects. The way that this works is by we're assigning what the different parts of this picture should be, so assigning the different layers. So for the sun, I have assigned the head, the moon is the eyes, Mercury is the mouth, Venus is the hoodie, Mars, hands, Jupiter, legs, Saturn, feet, Uranus, right here, which is going to be the skull, and then Neptune, which is the mushroom, and Pluto, which is the aura, which is this purple thing behind the celestial avatar. I assign these variables and really just define what the astrological signs are in the context of really my project. And what we're able to do with the ephemeris library is to, one, identify the current position, and then we also get to do some calculations in order to assign the astrological signs of the planet. And based on those planetary placements, we're able to get the planet positions, which is then what's used in a function to compose the image, taking the current planetary position, and then it takes individual image layers, such as the aura, for example, which is with Pluto, and according to where the current planet is in its astrological sign, different colors of these layers could be assigned. All of that is composed according to the current planetary positions, and importantly, in the signs in which they're in. And the way that this works is then computes where is the position, what is the astrological sign, it creates the overlapping image, and from there I host two different APIs. One is to get the planetary sign, and then I also get an API for my composed image, which is what then is going to be read and called upon from the Chainlink function later down the line. So what I did was essentially get that application to run here. These APIs are then used in my website according to the HTML code in order to then display this dynamic data on the website. So this image that you're seeing here, which is this get composed image, really just the composed image across all the different image layers, according to where the planets are in just different astrological signs. So that is the get composed image API. And then this is the planetary signs API, which we could go see what it looks like here. So with this API, we're able to get the relevant body part of the avatar, the position that planet's in, and then its astrological sign. There, what I wanted to be able to do was enable people to mint this image and data combination as an NFT. So to do this, I had to work with Solidity. This is my Solidity file for the contract. So I created the smart contract, which is going to be an ERC 721 smart contract that is also going to be using the Chainlink functions client in order to call on these APIs in order to really try to get some of my data that I have in as NFT metadata. We define various parameters of the contract, but then we also identify what the address router, the subscription ID, and then the function request in order to make the Chainlink function so that we're able to call my API and then get this data so that we can work with it on chain. And that's what we're seeing here is just how to make the Chainlink request within the contract. And it's important to point out that I am using the AVAX Fuji chain, and that's what I have in my address router and the subscription ID for the Chainlink function to be able to work on the Fuji chain. Then after the API calls are made, we get the fulfill request. And what I then do with the data that is retrieved from calling on these APIs is I then have a responsive image, which then takes the planetary signs data and image data so that you could then mint this NFT with that data. So then that takes you to our function mint with data. And here we're going to be putting in the planetary signs data and the image data. In order to display my image data, I converted the image into a base64 representation. And then that is then converted into a string so that the NFT metadata has all this information within it. So from here, I was then able to compile the smart contract using Hardhat, and then I was also able to use Hardhat in order to deploy the smart contract onto the AVAX Fuji C chain. I created the smart contract on the Avalanche C chain testnet. It was successful. And after creating the smart contract, I put in another transaction to interact with the Chainlink functions request, which is what was done here. And the Chainlink functions request was specifically meant to call on this part of the contract, which is to call the APIs and then work with the data or the API response, which is what this transaction is. And from there, I was really excited because it was really the first time that I was able to take a project from idea to now you have a smart contract using my APIs. And while it may not be working as I fully intended it to, since I get this fulfilled with error whenever I go check my subscription, my Chainlink function subscription, it does for sure work in the sense that the Chainlink function actually makes the get request to my APIs. However, there are some things that I still need to work out on the contract or on the API side in order to make sure that my API response is actually compatible with the smart contract limitations. While there's still some things that need to be done, I feel like this was something that was really fulfilling to me. The only experience that I had with that was just following along on the Solidity bootcamp tutorials by Patrick Collins. And then I decided, the Chainlink Hackathon is going to be a great place to try to just really put these skills into action. And while you can't just mint your Celestial from your website, you can connect your wallet through the website. And once I sort out the remaining kinks, users will then be able to mint their own Celestial, which will vary according to the different positions of the planets. I'm just really excited to be able to bring this idea to life, and there's definitely more to come. And thank you so much for listening to my project, and I hope that it's exciting for you, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.